December was a finisher for the record books, and unfortunately not the record books that we were all hoping for. To cap off the year of 2023, we finished with a 13-year low when it comes to the amount of transactions that actually happen in the Toronto real estate market. Now, some people might have a huge sigh of relief knowing that things are a little bit slower, but some people who own property and might want to sell in the near future might be really holding on for some better news. Now, with the 13-year low of transactions that we saw dating back to 2001, what it brought us was a lot more competition if you were trying to sell your home. And as a buyer, it opened up the door for a lot more opportunity, especially in the back half of 2023. So from September till the end of the year, there was definitely a lot more opportunity because there were a lot more sellers that had grown tired of leaving their properties on the market, and they might have needed to really fold their hand and give a great price to the potential buyers who were willing to come with an offer. Us personally had a couple listings that just weren't getting the traction that we wanted. And unfortunately, when it comes to this current market, if you need to sell for a specific price, you're gonna have to be very patient. If you just want to dump a property and get rid of it, it takes no time. You can just put your price at something that's extremely affordable, and you definitely are gonna get it sold quick. But that's not the name of the game. The name of the game is not to sell your home for as little as possible. The name of the game is get the value that you deserve for your home. So today we have the December numbers we're gonna go over here. As you can already tell, they're not great, as December generally is quite quiet. With Christmas and New Year's around the corner one year at the beginning of December, people generally stop thinking about real estate. So let's get into the video. Let's look at the numbers, and I'd love to know in the comment section down below, what do you think 2024 is going to look like when it comes to real estate? Do you think we're going to have the same lull in transactions that we had in 2023? Or do you think the Bank of Canada is going to come and save the day and give us some hope for renewed invigoration in the current market? Because right now I can tell you there is not a whole lot of that. Let's get into the video here. We're going to start with detached properties, and as we always do, we cover the Halton region, we cover Peel, and then we cover Toronto. Starting off with Burlington. Burlington finished with the average detached price at 1.265. Halton Hills, on a smaller number of transactions, finished at 2.2 million. Milton at 1.249, and Oakville, always one of the top, we already know, at 2.227 for the average detached in Oakville. Brampton, 1.153, Caledon, 2.1, and Mississauga at 1.355. As we know, when we're looking at Peel, Caledon always has a very, very small amount of transactions just based on the sheer size and volume that happen in that area. So the 2.2, take it with a grain of salt here. But Brampton still holding strong at 1.1. Mississauga, 1.3 and change is actually not bad for your average detached home. To finish everything off, the average detached in Toronto is 1.6 million. Toronto always on that higher end. Tons of volume held down by condo prices as well, but 1.6 is the average price for a detached home. So we've done the detached homes. Nothing's going to be a surprise here in these numbers. They're all going to be very similar to what we've seen from September up until now, but let's get into the next category. Now, semi-detached in Burlington, 951 is the average. Halton Hills, 767. Milton, 931,000. And Oakville, 1.485 for your average semi. Brampton, 895 was the average semi. Mississauga, 949,000 the average semi out there. Caledon on 4 transactions, very low again, 875,000. And the average semi coming out of Toronto is going to cost you 1.173. So just shy of 1.2 for your average semi in Toronto. Townhouses without a fee, Burlington, 890,000 with your average townhouse. Halton, 715. Milton, 867. And Oakville, 1188. So just under 1.2 for your average townhouse in Oakville. That is a freehold townhouse. No maintenance fees associated with any of these properties. Brampton, 827. Caledon, 842. And Mississauga, 922 for your average freehold townhouse. Toronto, freehold townhouse is higher than semis like they were last month. So 1.4 is the average for a Toronto townhome. Now, instead of reading you every bit of data, we're going to skip over the condo townhouses. We can find all that information in the description box down below if you would like, but we are going to head over to condos, where your average condo prices are going to be the most attractive for a lot of first-time home buyers, and a lot of investors who own these condos want to keep up with what those averages are. Burlington, $587,000, $586,000 in Milton, $718,000 in Oakville, $562,000 in Brampton, Caledon, no transactions, $610,000 is that average in Mississauga for a condo. Mississauga has tons of condo inventory. They actually had 85 transactions as opposed to Brampton's 14 in the condo sector. And then we are going to fish it off with Toronto, that always has the most transactions for condos. 641 transactions out of Toronto with a condo apartment style under their tag, and $709,000 being that average price. So we're going to get rid of the stats. We're going to talk about what all of this means going forward. And from September until now, we've seen pretty much a flat line. We haven't seen things go up. We haven't seen things go down dramatically enough to make a huge difference. But what we have seen, especially on the real estate side of things for us, is patience that needs to be exercised by a lot of these buyers and sellers. If you're a buyer, you have to really take your head out of the emotional space. Nothing should be emotionally done if you're buying real estate. You should be thinking about it from a numbers perspective and from a common sense perspective. So the way the market's looking right now, is it a good time to buy? Yes. Is it a good time to buy if you don't get a deal? No. You should be really looking at things from a nonsensical view. You need to buy something that is a great deal, that you can really take advantage of a seller who needs to move a property. If not, maybe it's best for you to wait until we get some rate announcements, or maybe you wait till properties sit longer and longer on the market, and then you get some more attractive options that are out there as a buyer. As a seller, what you need to do is really just weigh your options. Is the best time to sell now, or should you wait for some interest rate announcements? It's up to you. Me as a seller, this year I've got to move a property, so I might be thinking about when we get some interest rate announcements and you get some positive news in the market, that might be when the buyers really come out. So I might be thinking of potentially waiting until then, but sometimes you just don't have the choice. So think about what makes sense for you in your specific situation. If you have any questions about the real estate market, my opinion, where your specific property is, feel free to hit me in the comment section down below. If you are thinking of moving this year and you want to know what your property is worth, please drop your information in the comment section. I'd be happy to give you a free home evaluation just so you have an idea of, in today's current situation, what your property is actually worth. If you're just typing it into a search bar online, you're going to get a number that may or may not make sense, but make sure you are getting a number that makes sense. So if you want that, call me. My number is in the description below. I'd be happy to help you out. Thank you so much for watching another market update video. These have been the market statistics for December 2023. We've capped off the year with an ugly showing, and that is what we expected as we tailed off to the end of the year. I'll see you in the next market update video, hopefully with some better news with the January statistics. Bye for now.